would you give an invocation, please?
Sure, be honored. Let's bow our heads and go to the Lord. Our Heavenly Father, we just uplift you, give you all the glory and all the praise. Thank you so much for all our many blessings that you bestow on us every day. Just help us to be more like you. Help this college be with these leaders. We're just overwhelmed with the goodness that you have blessed us. Be with us this evening as we go forward. Help us with our words and help us to do the right things in honoring our college. Help us to make the right decisions. I just thank you so much for what our blessings have been and what these individuals that are here this evening have done. Their leadership has been overwhelming, and we know that it's through you that we receive these blessings. I just ask that you be with our president, be with him as he goes forward, and that you just continue to shine a bright light on him as he works hard and diligently, and just help us to understand and be a little bit more patient. We just ask that you be with Chairman Steve Grant as he leads us this evening, and just open our eyes, let our ears hear the words that you want us to be more like. We ask all these things in your honor. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. This time, do we have any public comments? No one signed up? All right, moving forward, it's a great pleasure to have Kevin Cashin with Golub Morgan Petty here tonight to bring us a financial audit report.
I don't think I really need this, to be honest. All right, thank you, Mr. Grant. Thank you, board, for allowing me to be here tonight. I believe you received a copy of the financials. You also received a copy of a two-page letter that I provide each year that I hope is helpful for you. It kind of gives you a summary of the year, gives you some comparisons between 25 and 24. I hope you had a chance to look through that. And then I just want to touch on a few things tonight that comes from the letter. First and foremost, again, thank you so much for allowing us to work with the college. It's an honor. We don't take that for granted. We appreciate the relationship we have. Thanks to David, to Stephanie, the entire staff, everyone that works so hard to help put this report together. This is not something that it's easy to do, but they make it easy to do, and we appreciate their help so much. If you have your financials in front of you, I just want to address a few things that kind of go back to the letter. If you go to page 1 of your report, and this is a significant part of the financials because that's our opinion. And ultimately, that's why you hire an audit firm. We're your opinion in the financial statements. If you look at the second paragraph, it states that our opinion, based on our audit, financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the financial position of Trinity Valley as of 8/31/25 and 24, and the results of the operations cash flows for the years then ended in accordance with GAAP. This is considered to be an unmodified or a clean audit opinion. The MD&A document is where most of the letter that I sent you comes from. Just want to point out a few things. If you go over to page 10, the thing that I like about the financials for the college is you get comparative information throughout, not just in the MD&A, but you get it throughout the financial statements. I think that's extremely useful to you as a board. Because you're always able to compare the 2 years together. If you look there at your total operating revenues on page 10, you'll see there that there was $10.6 million in total revenues for 25 versus a little over $11 million. So that was a $348,000 decrease. That's a little misleading, primarily because you got to remember a lot of these revenues, your tuition fees, are presented net of discounts. Okay, so they're discounted if you go back to Schedule A because of the financial aid you received. You had a lot more financial aid in 25 versus 24, so those revenues are discounted more in 25. So really, that's not like a true decrease because of that discounting. And the way it's presented is your discounting affects your revenues, but it also affects your expenses. So that discounting kind of washes. And that's a calculated thing that we have a formula that we go through to determine how much discounting applies to your tuition and fees, how much of it applies to your auxiliary revenues as well. If you look down through there, you'll see your total expenses went from a little over 60.3 million to 62.8. So that's a $2.4 million increase. And again, in the letter, it's described there what those represent. And then the biggest change you're going to find is in the non-operating revenues and expenses. Remember, this is a co-board presentation. This is their mandated presentation for your financials. So what happens is you're always going to have, if you look at the middle there on page 10, you're always going to see that you're going to have a net operating loss. Now, the reason that's there is because your state appropriations, your ad valorem taxes, your federal revenues all fall down below in what they consider to be non-operating revenues and expenses. Now, you as a board, your management team are fully aware if you don't have those revenues, you can't operate. So they're necessary in order to build a surplus within the college. If you look there, you'll see your appropriations increased 1.7 million. Ad valorem taxes, we're up a little over 3.38. And then your federal revenues, which again kind of supports the discounting that we mentioned, those federal revenues went up about 2.2. The big change too, if you look down towards the bottom in your 24 column, you'll see the loss from the contingent liability, the 3.9 million. That was the accrual that was made at the end of 24, the funds that had to be paid back to DOE. And when we met this time last year, you'd already paid those funds back. Okay. So you were able to be in a financial position where even with that, paying that back, you were in a great position last year. Well, guess what? This year, your increase in your taking that position went from 2.3 million to 10.2. That's an increase of just under $8 million. So an excellent year, something to be very proud of. Any questions on this before I move forward? Okay, now, the other thing I want to point out to you tonight, go back in the back, and this is mentioned in the letter as well. If you go to page 61, the financial, that's the beginning of what we consider to be the single audit section. Okay, this is the compliance part that relates to our testing of your Title IV funds and your other programs that were required to be tested for the year. And if you read through the letter, you would basically state that there were no findings related to compliance with your financial aid department. Okay, that's a huge deal. This is the second year in a row that we've not had any findings related to our testing for compliance. Your financial aid department needs to be commended for the excellent job that they're doing for y'all. Any questions on that? Anything else to discuss tonight? I did want to mention one other thing. I shared this with Dr. Morrison, your staff, when we met a couple of weeks ago. Just to inform you, this will be the last report that you will see under Gall, Morgan & Petty. Our firm did a merger in early December of 25, and we merged with a private equity group. And under that, basically, we kept our name intact. But what happened was, with the AICPA's alternate services structure, the way you do it is you have to create a secondary company to do all your attested assurance work under. So moving forward, we will do all that work under an entity called GMP Assurance LLC. So everything going forward will be under that new entity. Same people. I'm not changing. I'm not going anywhere. Everything else will be the same. It will just be a new entity that we will report under going forward. Any questions? Anything I can add to tonight? Anything that I can add to the letter? I hope it was very useful for you.
Thank you for being here and all your work.
Thank you, Steve.
And I'd also like to say thank you to all our staff and that helped put this together. This is a great report. I mean, there's been times it hadn't been, but not to have anything that's really negative at all in that report is outstanding.
It is. We've been there from the beginning and kind of know what it used to look like. So this is excellent. Thanks to Dr. Morrison too for his guidance and direction. We appreciate him so much. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we'll convene an executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071 OF of the Texas Opens Meeting Act for the following purposes. Governmental body seeks advice of attorney. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess we need to. Can I hear a motion to approve the audit?
So moved.
Seconded by Dr. East. All in favor, say aye. Dr. Sherman. Now,
Sorry.
moving on, and then also on the matter of the duty of attorney to be of the governmental body under the Texas disciplinary rules and professional conduct of the state of Bar, Texas clearly conflicts with this chapter. Do I hear a motion to move into executive session? Second, Trustee Perry, seconded by Dr. Curran. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Wait, my number coming.
Okay.
I just text her. Brian, I'm waiting on Lee to come in right now.
Okay. You guys want to go through them in this meeting, right, so they can see you?
Yes.
Hey, this is Lee.
Do I hear a motion to come back in from the executive session?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made.
Second.
Second. Okay, next item on business is consider the approval of mediated agreement with former employee. Do we have any discussion?
Make a motion that we approve the mediated agreement recommended by our attorney with the former employee.
Any
Second
second?
that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Thank you. Dr. Morrison, President's report.
Okay, before I turn over to Tammy to give us an enrollment update, I do want to give a thank you to our physical plant and all the volunteers over the last few days. Our physical plant for getting our campus as clean as we could get it during facing the ice storm, working very tirelessly. But I also want to give it, just point out, we had a lot of individuals over the weekend, some coaches, a few staff members that came out to make sure our students got fed. Because, you know, we have a third-party vendor for our food service. A lot of their employees were unable to make it to work. But we had a lot of people on campus, like I said, from coaches, AD, to some student service employees that came in to help feed the students. And it made a difference. We had record numbers. We were doubling the normal people we were feeding on the weekend because obviously the students were stuck here and isolated and so forth. But we wouldn't have been able to do without all those that volunteered. So I appreciate what they did for the institution. And before I turn over to Tammy, I want to say thank you to Tammy and her staff. The numbers that she's going to share with you and the excitement could not have been done without the student service staff, without our business office, and all those that work in making sure the students' bills are completed and finalized to financial aid and processing of their financial aid. Is truly a group effort that has led to the success over the last couple of years in our enrollment numbers. With that being said, Ms. Tammy, how about it?
Good evening, board. On the first page, you'll see we have our fall final FTE and headcount numbers. We ended the fall 25 semester with an FTE increase of 7.42% and a headcount increase of 10.04%. They were busy in the fall. They're busy coming into the spring. It's nice to be able to see the results of the hard work of a lot of different staff members, faculty members. And I think that you supporting us and in campus improvements, all of that feeds into what we were able to see with our final numbers for fall and what we're seeing again in the spring. So thank you for that. On the second page, spring 26, of course, we won't have final numbers until March when our 8-week 2 is census hits. For FTE at this point, we are a little over 6% increase from spring of 25, and headcount is 7.65% increase over spring of 25. On the third page shows where we last year, or I guess it was in August, kind of started looking at what the year-over-year academic totals were. That shows where we're at. Of course, we still have 8-week 2, summer, terms, all of that, but that's kind of where we're setting compared to what our academic year totals are for FTE and headcount. Any questions for enrollment? Thank y'all again.
Thank you.
Our next presentation, we had a group of faculty that attended the first ever Caring Campus conference in San Diego during the fall. They were presenters, and actually when they were done presenting, the conference committee said they should have been the marquee presenters of the conference. I'm proud of what our Caring Campus group has done. They're known as the Care Cards. For all you 80s babies and your Care Bears. But they have really embraced this Caring Campus initiative. It's a national initiative that many colleges in Texas and throughout the country have embraced about finding best practices to improve how you connect with your students. And our group, in such a short amount of time, less than 6 months, have risen to the top. And a lot of the leadership has been Angel Ellis, Dr. Dana Curry, soon to be Dr. Angel Ellis, Dr. Dana Curry, John Plasick, Dr. Courtney Terragino, and the other members of the Caring Campus Committee. And they're going to give you a brief kind of summary of what they've been doing and how it's been impacting our campus.
Okay, we only have 5 minutes. So I had to tell myself like 5 times that we only have 5 minutes. So it's only 2 of us. Several of us would have been here. Dr. Plasick would have been here as well, but with the weather this week, things got rescheduled for games and such. So it's me and Angel. So again, she's going to be giving you some goodies. And we also have t-shirts for each one of you, but we didn't know your sizes, but we have every size that there is. So extra small. We don't want to take up too much more time than we have. But we do have all of them. If you just tell her or something. Yeah, you can tell Morgan your size and we can get them to you for the next one. That would be awesome. So as Dr. Morrison has said, what is Caring Campus? Well, Caring Campus is an initiative that's created by the Institute for Evidence-Based Change. And they have worked with 150 institutions across the United States within 31 states. And so we are one of those institutions, and we, in the fall, rolled out the faculty side, working in partnership with IEBC, and we hope to also move to the staff side next. And so we've done that in the fall. And so the IEBC, what they did is selected a committee of us faculty based on data from our classes. And the committee, Caring Campus Committee, became the Care Bears. And there is a funny story behind that, but I only have 5 minutes. So we will have to wait on that. But we became the Care Bears and we embraced it. And now we are the Care Cards. Now, if you'll see the logo on here, Dr. Plasick came up with the idea, and our wonderful marketing team, who, by the way, she needs a raise. Came up
Dr. Who now?
Well, Joanna needs a raise. Dr. Plasick needs a raise because he does so much. But Dr. Plasick, he's not here. He was going to talk first, but he didn't make it back in time. But he came up with that idea, and that is our logo now for the Caring Campus. And so that's cool. But anyway, so we rolled this out, and the committee worked together. And like I said, we had a representative from IEBC come and work with us. And the committee came up with, the faculty side rollout. And what the Caring Campus is it's a way that we as an institution can connect to our students. And when we connect with them, we want to connect with them not only in our classrooms, but also holistically across the campus in all the departments. We want to get to know them to where if they have an issue or if there's something going on, as their faculty, they will come to us. And so this is a beautiful thing. So we came up with 7 behavioral commitments, and you'll see them there on the screen, and they're also in a card in your bag. And these behavioral commitments are commitments that we can, as faculty, implement in our classroom to connect to our students so that they feel these behavioral commitments will create a feeling of our students. I'm getting a little lost here. That will cultivate their own sense of belonging. They'll have a sense of value, a sense of we care about you, you're important. And so in this whole behavioral commitments, the 7 of them is what we came up on the faculty side. Now, in your bag, you'll see this guy here. This was another idea brought to marketing team, and the marketing team took a lot of time to do it, but it is a beautiful thing. It has all of these behavioral commitments color-coded, and our faculty worked together with not just the committee, but the faculty gave ideas as well, ideas and activities that teachers can use in their classrooms to implement these behavioral commitments.
So this right here is a tool that they use in the classroom. Dr. Morrison teaches for us, and he has one sitting on his desk. So anyways, this has been a big tool, and we've been using it as faculty. Now, we can go to the next slide. So these commitments, so what was so cool about this is when we submitted a proposal to the Caring Campus Conference, the annual conference, and it was accepted and we presented there. And when we went, full room, full session, and what we gave out a bunch of these. We gave out all the goodies, the wonderful stickers, the modeled after the Care Bears. We gave out t-shirts, which every one of our faculty have one of these bags, as well as these t-shirts, and they are coveted because the staff side has been coming and bugging us for more.
And for our pins.
Oh, and for our pins, we also have these pins. That's our logo. It's our logo for TVCC. And anyway, so at this conference, these things were a hit. And we gave out a ton of them. So everybody that left there went across the nation because those folks they gathered from all across the United States, and they all have our name somewhere. So this thing has been dispersed. All this stuff has been dispersed. So this is a great thing. We're on the map with the Caring Campus, let me tell you. So that was a beautiful thing that happened in November. And we thank, of course, the school for helping us to go, and I'm paying for that. California's not cheap. And then, so also, our committee came up with what we call coffee talks. And what coffee talks are is kind of like what they used to say. Dr. Vicki Geisel, if you know her, she was like, wow, we don't have these coffee talks. So we came up with coffee talks that we can have to collaborate and communicate or commune with each other. And so we rolled out 3 of them in the fall. At Learning Day, we had 3 sessions. Every single one of them was full to the brim. One of them we had to bring in chairs. And what was so cool about that is that it wasn't just faculty. We sat around and talked with faculty and staff in those sessions. And we had this whole, we created this culture of connecting. Culture of connecting and caring. And so what was cool about that, and that's what this social event's about, is of these folks, we had people that have been here for a long time. Tom Sharon was here, and we were all talking. They were like, hey, this is great between the faculty and the student, but what about between each other? Connecting with each other. And they said, we need to get back to the olden days, the way we used to do it, and hang out and have a big social event. So that's our next big deal, is we're planning a social event, a Caring Campus social event, May 2nd. It's from 10 to 2. And so please write that down. We'll send out invites as well, but I am inviting each one of y'all to come with your families on behalf of the committee and the faculty, and come enjoy a little, maybe some horseshoes, maybe a little beanbag throw, maybe who knows what, but we're going to have a good time eating and have a hayride. So, and we're going to have it at the ranch. By the way, Mark was very cordial and showed us around the ranch, other than a little bit of cow manure smell and more stuff. Who knows what else is in there. It's going to be a great place to have a get together, and we want to bring that back. Now, we want to bring it back the way it used to be, but after some of the stories of some of you, I won't say names of somebody on the board that I heard stories about that maybe was around, but anyways, we want to bring it back. We want to bring back that whole connection. And so Vicky talks to me, she's next door.
Is that the armadillo? I have a tin.
I heard something about, well, we won't talk, but anyways, so some of those stories won't escape you. Now, I know I have stories too, so I better be quiet and back up. So, but anyways, we hope you can be there on May, and we just wanted you to know what's happening, and it's a great thing. We're definitely changing the culture around here, and thank you, Dr. Morrison, for bringing that to us.
I know it seems like this is something that's small, but a lot of times a college can get to a point where it kind of loses focus on its students. And sometimes you take a general reminder, and I think Caring Campus, I've been part of Caring Campus at 2 different colleges now. I brought it to the last institution I was at, then here. It kind of recenters your focus that, especially in today's age, our students need to know we're invested in them. And they need to know there's an avenue to express themselves, to have a connection with someone, And it's important that we kind of take best practices that Angel and coloring in her class. We may think that's silly, but it gets a comfort level to the with the students. They're learning something while they're doing this because there's a learning outcome for it. But it kind of creates an environment where they're invited to, they feel comfortable, because the end goal is we want them to be successful. They're not going to be successful if they're not comfortable where they're at. And I think what this group has done is kind of jokingly sometimes it's a matter of just being a decent human being.
Yeah.
But sometimes we need to remind ourselves to be just a decent human being and realize that student may be a single mother of two whose car tire has gone flat and she has no way to go to campus. But through our Caring Campus faculty and our Cardinal HQ, we're able to get emergency money to get the tire fixed, get a gas card or a jacket, or, all this is coming together, and it was all paid for by a grant. And we are working with the group to get another grant to do the staff side. So it's very valuable because it really refocuses, and we have some excellent faculty members that have had best practices for decades that I think they kind of pulled back out and are, introducing to some of our newer faculty, because we have a lot of newer faculty that have come on board here of late, keeping, energized and focused on the student. So Angel and Dana have done a tremendous job, and just the stories that they have to be able to connect with the students are tremendous. And the reason we're seeing the graduation numbers go up. So thank you guys.
Thank you all. Thank you. And we have shirts, y'all can tell her, or email Morgan.
Thank you.
I want to say one thing about this. I think this is awesome. And obviously, a lot of work and a lot of time has gone into this. And I was just wondering, thank you. I was just wondering, how are we bringing, besides the campuses and the students and faculty, how are we bringing the community into this? Oh, can you address? She can.
Yeah, I will address that.
For my shirt, I'll wear it proudly.
You're welcome. We are starting to connect with community. Dr. Corn, I talked to you at the Christmas party about that. And that was what you asked me when I was telling you that we had just gone to the conference. And we had talked about bringing in community so they could see that with the great things we're doing with the Caring Campus initiative and grant. And so we have started doing that. Dana and John are reaching out to the chamber in Athens, to the Kiwanis, to the Rotary. Courtney and Dana and I are going next week to the Terrell Rotary Club to get the word out and make a correlation of connection where we can be in the community and show them what we're doing as well.
Before you brainstorm that, what is the amount of the grant? I'm just curious, and
that is above my pay grade.
Yeah.
That would
I'm
be
just curious because you're going to get another one, I'm sure. I mean, this is a one of a kind. And
Yes.
if Morrison has anything to do with it behind
Yeah.
the scenes, which is, has brought this here, I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious because you might need community money, and I didn't know.
yes.
It was $100,000 grant.
Okay, the first one.
Yes,
Okay.
and that conference was,
Expensive.
and we are now on a national level. So when we were told that we could have been the keynote speakers, and
They want us back next year.
yes, the community will, hopefully get involved and see what great things we're doing.
So you're not yet at the place of opening it up to the community yet. You're still building the foundation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Working on it.
If I can do anything to help, let me know.
Thank you.
They're really only about not even 6 months from August, middle of August to now. So they're 5 months in.
And it normally takes a year to roll out this grant.
Do you write your own grants or who's
No.
writing the grants? Jason? Okay.
This was a phone call and I have a relationship.
You know.
Yes, that is true. Yes, that is true.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
I'd like to say thank y'all for, not only bringing the students in and working with the community, but bringing better communication between the staff and faculty and people that are here. I mean, that's important and invaluable. It knocks down silo walls.
That's what was so cool about the day sessions, because you had faculty and staff, and then even staff was giving us ideas for our classroom.
Yes.
And that was just huge for me. That was the biggest thing, is that we had faculty and staff all just combining, connecting, and caring for each other.
I find this fascinating because I love it. It's right in my alley, but I want to ask again, is it just on this campus or is it the other
No, no,
campus
it's on
too?
all the
Yeah,
campuses.
okay.
Everyone has this,
Yeah.
and every faculty member, and then we'll roll it out for the staff side and all.
We also are mailing out to all the adjuncts, and we have our liaison, Jeffrey, who is taking embed faculty bags and the ring as well. So all of us are on board and get on board with this.
No, and we'd be more than happy to meet with y'all and talk more in detail about it if you have any more questions. We can talk about this for hours upon hours upon hours, so we will not take any more of your time, but.
Sounds like y'all are doing a good job.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
You don't need any help from us.
So good.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? All right, next order of business. Thank you, Dr. Morrison. Consider and discuss the minutes of the December 8th, 2025 board meeting. In your packet, you have the minutes that have been prepared. Do we hear any discussion, additions, or corrections?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Turn second. Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Uh,
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item number 9, consider and discuss business, financial, and investment reports for October and November 2025. Mr. Hopkins.
Thank you. Board, I'm going to be talking from the November year to date. I just wanted to point out a couple of things and take the time. As Tammy was talking about, we got $619,000 above last year, 7.26% in tuition and fees. Wanted to point out some of the quirks of our revenue. You'll notice in state appropriations that 8.2 million, that didn't give here until October. That's the 3-pay under the new system. So, we didn't get that till October. I wanted to point out, ad valorem taxes, you see 2.3 million in November, we got 14.3 in December. That's not unusual. It was a little more unusual this year because of the election and the property tax items that were on there. Some of the districts delayed sending out notices, which meant delayed money. Most of it is December, January, because a lot of them have gone away from giving discounts for early payment. So, that's a big part of our budget. I just wanted to point that out, as kind of how that flows in here. At the bottom, that put us revenue or expense for that period of time, 7 million, versus 5.5 last year. Most of that difference that you may have noticed up above is performance funding. I think our original budget last year was 12 million something. Just after the first payment, we're 1.9 million ahead of last year in performance funding, which is, I think, a good thing. If we can switch over, Morgan, we'll go down to the investment report. We're in cap reserve, and I want to talk about our excess from last year. We're at 30.6 million. Y'all know that usually we wait till after the audit. We have $8.1 million from last year. That first part of February, we'll be transferring to cap reserve. Usually at that point, we will do a full CD bid and laddering and consider the capital projects and that sort of thing. I wanted to point that amount out because, and that's the reason I pointed out the revenue is, you see that we're September, October before we get really much. It's very nice to have that cash in the bank that gets us to the point, probably 45–50% of our revenue is after October, November, December. Now, after that, we're flush for a while, but then spend it down in the summer. And the next page is the cap reserve report. Just a little more information about that. A lot of stuff going on. And the last item, as we always show you, the expenditures over 25,000. Needless to say, with beginning of the year and all the construction projects going on, there's quite a few checks going out. Does anyone have any questions? We're in really good financial shape. I just want to reiterate what Kevin said. I mean, it's really good. We're in a really good position.
Anybody have any questions of Mr. Hopkins? We hear a motion to approve the financial report.
So,
Motion made by Trustee Grateful and Dr. Easton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, motion carries. Item 10, consider and discuss order of election of May 2nd, 2026. Election. I'm looking at my packet here. We have to approve setting up the election for May 2nd. Do I hear any discussion on that? Do I hear a motion to go ahead and take the necessary steps to authorize the general election for May 2nd?
I'll make that motion.
It's made, seconded by Trustee Day. Any discussion? All right, we got a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Consider and discuss annual investment report.
Board, this is something that we have to get from the state auditor's office every year. You'll find these numbers in note 4 of the annual financial report that Kevin presented. The detail for the foundation is off of the brokerage statement for the end of the year. This is just approved by the board, required for us to send it into the state auditor and be posted on the website.
Any questions? Do I hear a motion to approve the annual report, annual investment report? Dr. Curran made a motion.
second.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Okay. Consider and discuss annual review of investment policy and strategy.
Board, this is for the Public Funds Investment Act. We have to bring to the board on the agenda once a year the investment policy. We have made no changes. I think there were some tabs we made in January of 25. This includes the local and the legal. Of course, we can't change the legal, but we're just trying to comply with Public Funds Investment Act by having it on the agenda. We've made no changes. Recommend approval.
Any questions or discussion? Do I hear a motion to approve the annual review of investment policy and strategy?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Lincoln, seconded by Trustee Perry. Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Consider and discuss item number 13. Consider and discuss 2025 ad valorem tax roll levy as presented.
Board, this is all the appraisal districts asked me to sign something, and I finally asked one of the lawyers. It's not really a legal requirement. It's more of a best business practice for us to sort of certify the levy. And I think it's a good thing to do because, they give us the numbers in July. And then we rock along and you've got all that stuff that's still under protest at that time. These are the numbers that they have sent me as certified levy or off of their statements as of November. What I wanted to point out to you, and the reason we'll approve it is, this also goes on the website. This is $29,863 more than the budget. I never realized it would ever be that close, but it's on the high side, so anyway, so that says to me that, you know, the estimates that we made or the things that we included that were under protest, we hit it pretty close with what actually happened in those review board meetings.
And there was a record number of protests last year, wasn't there?
It seems like there's been a record number of protests for 3 or 4 weeks. But we're just asking for the certification of the levy, and then I will respond to the appraisal districts with that.
Does anyone have any questions or discussion? There's here a motion to approve the resolution of the levy and tax roll. And seconded by trustee Day. A motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item number 14. Consider and discuss phase 3 roofing bid award.
This is part of our capital improvement, phase 3, to replace the roof on the cafeteria and bookstore and the lower slope roof of Liberal Arts. The lowest bid was S&S Roofing at $514,000. We're just seeking board approval.
Any discussion? There a motion to approve the recommendation of accepting the S&S roofing bid of $514,334.
So moved.
No more than seconded.
I'll second.
Trustee Mason seconded. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item number 15, consider and discuss phase 3 mechanical upgrades.
This is part of capital phase 3, but it's year 2 of our 4-year partnership with Train on our mechanical upgrades. You can see the price came in at $103,324, and we're just seeking board approval.
Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, do we hear a motion?
Motion.
Motion made by Dr. Reisinger, seconded by Dr. Eason. A motion's been made. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Okay, consider and discuss item number 16. Consider and discuss interlocal agreement with Henderson County elections for the May 2nd, 2026 election. You have an interlocal agreement which solidifies our agreement with the county to have conduct the elections. We have to have this signed if we want to do that. So does anybody have any questions or discussion on this item? Hearing none, do we hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Trustee Morton approved, Kristen Curran seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries. Number 17, consider and discuss personnel updates for December 2025.
Board, before you have personnel updates, resignation, termination, non-renewals, new hires, reclassifications, just seeking board approval.
Any discussion or questions on this matter? I hear a motion to approve the personnel update.
So moved.
Dr. Curran made a motion, seconded by Trustee Perry. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign, motion carries. Dr. Reisinger,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
in a second. Trustee Morton seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Thank you all for being here.